Hey, smart watches and belt notches. Have I used that one before? Comment down below if I've used that one before. And also, link the video that I used it in. Who's a real super fan here? Prove yourself. Hey everybody, my name is John and welcome to ADITW, A Day in the Word, the internet's favorite Bible study. As usual today we got a little section, a little morsel of scripture for you to read, for you to study. Why don't you do it right now actually? We are in 1 Kings chapter 3. I want you to read verses 5 through 15 for me. Real quick before we dive into that, I want to know, I have tried two different ways of doing scripture on this show. I have tried reading the scripture out loud, and then I've also tried giving you a little respite with some music to read it on your own. Which do you prefer? Comment down below, let me know. Now back to the show. So my guess is if you knew one thing about Solomon, the biblical character, before we started reading this book, you probably knew that Solomon was considered to be the wisest man who ever lived. And right here in 1 Kings chapter 3, we read the story of how Solomon received wisdom from God. And one thing I really love about it is that it was so simple. He simply asked God for wisdom. God said, ask for whatever you want and I will give it to you. And Solomon had the wisdom to ask for wisdom. He didn't ask for something flashy or sexy or temporary, but he asked for something that was lasting. He asked for something that was eternal. He asked for something that was life-giving. And that's what wise people do. Wise people ask for wisdom. In the book of James, chapter 1, verse 5, it says, if any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. And what I really love about this chapter is not only does Solomon receive wisdom from God, but if you keep reading in the chapter, there's this amazing story where Solomon is able to apply his wisdom. There's these two women who show up, and one of them is claiming, this baby, this is my son. And the other one is saying, no, her son died, and so she actually stole my son. And Solomon says, okay, here's how we're going to solve this. We're going to split the baby in two, just cut it right down the middle. One woman's going to take one half, the other one's going to take the other half. Great, that sounds good. And the one woman, she says, yeah, that sounds fair, let's do it. And the other says, no. Don't kill the child, please. Give it to her, that's okay, that's fine, as long as the child is alive. And Solomon knows that the real mother of the child would rather actually give it to somebody else than see the baby killed. And so Solomon, using his wisdom, he applies his wisdom and he figures out this issue and he gives the child to the rightful mother. And I love that because immediately, within the same chapter of receiving this incredible gift from God, Solomon uses it immediately. Solomon applies it immediately. And that's because when God gives, we must receive. But we not only must receive, we also must apply. When God gives us gifts, we should not only receive those gifts, but we should use those gifts for His glory and for His purposes. When God gives us knowledge, not only should we receive that knowledge, but we should apply that knowledge to help us live differently. And so my question for you today is, what has God given you and you've received it, but you haven't yet applied it? I wonder what gifts in your life, or what talents, or what platform, what opportunities in a relationship has God given you? And maybe you've received those blessings, but you haven't necessarily put them to use yet. You haven't applied them yet to make your life or the lives around you better. You haven't yet used them to continue to build God's kingdom. And again, if maybe you're not sure what to do with it, if maybe you're not sure how to apply it or how to use it, remember, wise people ask for wisdom, and a good God gives it to them. Hey, all you wise people, thank you so much for watching ADITW this week. I think that was a very, very wise choice. I really appreciate you watching it. If you like this video, if it encouraged you, please give it a like. And again, as always, comment down below. I want to hear from you. That is my lifeblood. Also, once again, if you are enjoying this channel, if you like what we're trying to do, please consider supporting us on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can help this channel continue to grow, continue to go, and just continue to make videos like this that I hope are encouraging you. That is all I have today. Thank you again for watching. We'll see you next week. We're always here every Wednesday. You'll find us. We'll see you next week as we continue this 1 Kings study. I love you all. Keep being awesome.